listening to the Krooked Hearts Podcast.
All right. Thank you so much, guys and girls, for tuning in to the third installment of the Krooked Hearts Podcast. This is Andy the Pie Deal. Excited about this interview with Anthony Cullins, a.k.a. the Fallbrook Kid. We will be jumping right into this interview. We had a lot of cool things to talk about with some of the contests this young cat has entered into and slayed it. So he's got a lot of gigs coming up. He's a local staple here from Temecula all the way down to San Diego area. Hope you guys enjoy this interview. We're going to jump right into it. Thank you so much for listening. You might learn, you might cry, you might laugh. Might be something good that you never knew about from a local musician here. So appreciate everybody tuning in to this third installment, this third episode of the Krooked Hearts Podcast. Just want to go ahead and introduce my guest, Mr. Anthony Cullins. Go ahead, Mr. Man. Introduce yourself. Let us know about yourself.
Hey, I'm Anthony Cullins. How you guys doing?
Yeah. We're here at the shop here doing our interview today. So tell me, my man, how old you are, how long you been playing guitar, first of all.
All right, well, I'm 17. I've been playing guitar since I'm 10. And I'm from Fallbrook, California, born and raised. And ever since I picked up the guitar, I've always been in love with it. So, I've never put it down.
Yeah. So. Awesome, brother. So tell me about, your beginning. So we'll go straight to the beginning of the story here.
Oh, wow, okay.
Let's go. Let's get to the gist, man. So tell me about, what inspired you to play guitar. I know a little bit of your backstory, but I want you to kind of lay it down for the listeners.
I always listened to, a lot of music. Even when I was little, there's a lot of music being played, around, on the radio and stuff, from oldies to, rock to just everything. And so I think, music was always just within me at a very young age. And so at the age of 9, I really wanted to start playing guitar because I really liked what I was hearing, and I want to know how it's done, how do they do it, I really wanted to be able to make music. And so by the time I was 10, I made enough money doing odd jobs like mowing lawns and stuff so I could get the $100 Costco kit, the Starcaster
Going
guitar
old school
with the amp
mowing
and
lawns,
stuff.
dude, yeah.
So I did that, and I got that, and I started taking group lessons at the Fallbrook Community Center with Larry Robinson.
Okay.
And then,
So that's where Larry came into the picture for you.
And then Larry said, to my dad, hey, I'd really like to work with your son. So he did private lessons with me for a while, and then he told me to go to Rob and Rita at Pete's Music when he was teaching there.
Okay. Well, wait, you're skipping over a little bit of what Larry was a local institute. He was like a local guy.
He's still in the picture at that point, though.
Yeah.
Too. He's still there. And Larry,
but he saw something in you.
Yeah. So
he definitely.
He was really
he didn't just go to your dad and say no. He wanted to take you under his wing a little bit.
Yeah, he was a good guy. Yeah, he really was.
He had a little bit of insight into seeing there was something here with this kid, more than the other kids that he's been teaching or taking under his wing or giving a lesson or two here and there. He definitely, saw something in you and pulled your dad to the side and said, "Wait a minute, hold on."
Yeah, it was an honor, to be able to get lessons from him,
Right.
And then.
So wait, I thought maybe I read something about you learned a couple chords and then you went home that night and learned a few more chords so that by the time you came to the next lesson, you're already a step ahead of the rest of
Well, yeah, I would do that type of stuff all the time. Yeah, learn more stuff that from the work that we learn in class.
Showing the initiative.
Just try to work. Well, not just to show it. I just would do it because I just was like I want to learn.
You were that excited about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
well, that showed something there.
Later on, I ended up sitting in with Larry and stuff, and going to it. He used to have an open mic at Sorrell's.
Okay.
So I used to go there, and then one night he calls me and said if I'd go to his open mic, he's gonna start doing it at Valley Fort. And so I ended up going to that, and this is when I was, I could barely even play lead guitar at this point. I was just playing rhythm because and that's really good because I got a really solid rhythm foundation
for sure.
Because that's all I played for a couple years.
That's what you gotta do.
And that was great. And I did that with Larry, and then he ended up passing away. That whole thing happened.
Yeah.
And they still continue doing the open mic at Valley Fort. A good buddy of mine, Shannon
Okay.
Miner. He's a really good buddy of mine. He works on my guitars, just good guy. And he continued the open mic.
Okay.
And
So he kept he took the torch and ran with it.
yeah, exactly. And they kept the open mic, like, they called it, like, in tribute of Larry Robinson.
Okay.
And so this guitar player was there on the first night they started it without Larry, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And his name was Paul Verado, and he was up there, and he just, like, one of the most, you know, just, like, his playing was just, like, so tasty, and just, I never heard a guitar player like that before, you know?
Okay.
And so I ended up going, wow, I'd be honored to play, like, I'd be so lucky to be able to play with that guy, you know? And
Right.
ended up playing with them that night, and we ended up talking, and then we ended up playing every week
Hitting
together.
it off. You guys hit it off.
And we just got to be good friends.
Yeah.
And we, you know, now we're really good friends, and he, you know, lets me borrow guitars, and he's just a really good friend. We just, you know, swap gear, and you know, we play together, and you know, he's a good guy. Good friend of mine, Paul Alvarado. Yeah, good guitar player.
He's local
man.
guy too?
He's in Fallbrook, yeah.
Fallbrook, okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
and killer guitar player, man.
Right
Yeah.
on.
So I ended up pretty much learning all my first chops of lead playing by playing with him, you know.
He taught you a few licks.
Well, not really. It was just we were playing together, and I just watch him, you know,
Watch his
so that way I
fingers.
could stand my own, you know.
Yeah, right.
I don't,
yeah. What's he doing
Because I
there?
remember going, you know, if I can't be able to play as good as this guy, then what's the point of coming next week?
right.
So that was just my mentality.
I gotta catch up to
So it
his
was
level.
just I wanted to just to learn, you know, really
Right.
quick, you know.
Good for you. You're like a little sponge.
And so that's kind of what I did, just, you know, and that was good because, you know, he's a really good player, so it was good to be able to learn from that. And then now, you know, tying it in with music theory and stuff and everything else that I've learned, it's good to be able to analyze everything and just know
Right.
why it works and
Okay.
how it's done. So that's a
Yeah.
whole other thing, you know, but
Totally.
that I'm starting to do from the past 2 years. But yeah, playing with Paul, I picked up my first lead chops, and you know, from there on, just really meeting other players, playing with, you know, everyone I can, and now playing with just really high caliber, big name players. And,
Oh yeah, big name
and you know,
players.
playing with my band and playing with, you know, the Casey Hensley band.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a lot of fun, you know, playing all these different places and being able to meet all these really nice people and just these really cool, supportive people and just killer players. It's just a lot of fun. Yeah,
Well,
it's a blast.
we definitely that's a quick version of it. Let's see. So I just saw recently the first place in the Dallas International Guitar Show's Young Gun Showcase.
Oh yeah, that was in May
Tell me about that,
at
brother.
the Dallas International Guitar Festival.
I was stoked for you. So I was like, local
Thank you,
boy, taking
yeah.
it out on the road,
Thanks,
taking it
man.
elsewhere, and killing
Yeah,
it.
so that was May 4th, 5th, and 6th, Dallas, Texas, Dallas Market Hall.
Okay.
It's a guitar festival. It was the 41st year they've done it. I believe it was the 41st year.
Okay.
But it's Jimmy Wallace's festival.
Okay. Was this the one that you did the pipeline?
Yeah.
Yeah. Such a great performance, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And so-
I watched it like 3 or 4 times. I was like,
Oh,
really?
thanks,
I gotta
man.
watch this thing again,
Thank
man.
you. And yeah, so he puts on this festival every year, and he's a killer guitar player, well known, well connected.
Okay.
You know, just really good guy too, and he actually you know, sent me some pickups
Okay.
that he makes. You know, some P90s.
Try these out, kind of
that
thing,
are-
or what?
They look like mini humbuckers.
Okay.
He made them gold. They look like humbuckers, so I
Right.
could put them in my Firebird.
Okay.
So he's really cool. He gave me some pickups to put in my guitar, and they sound awesome. You know, the stuff he makes is just killer.
Nice.
But yeah, he put on this festival, you know, and I was invited to play there. I met him at NAMM along with the Malone family, David Malone and
Okay.
Jamie and their son Reese. He's a really killer guitar player. He's like all over the place. Like
Right.
he's just playing all over. Like he's out there. He's getting out there, and he's just really killer.
Okay.
And so they're so kind for their hospitality while we were there in Texas, and you know, it was with them. You know, we got invited to the festival to go play.
These are all young guns.
Yeah, there was a lot of killer players like Taz, you know, Brandon Niederauer.
Okay. No, never heard of them.
Oh,
Sorry.
check him out.
Yeah, I'll
you
have to
gotta
check
check
that
him
out.
out. And just a bunch of players, just like so many players. It was crazy because everybody there, you know, there's a lot of times where you see like videos on YouTube of like going viral of a kid playing guitar and you know they're hyped up but they're not that great.
Right.
But everybody there was like mature,
high
clear.
caliber. Huh?
Everybody knew how to arrange their stuff right. Like they knew what they were doing.
Okay.
There, no slouches, man. These guys were just the real deal, just
nice,
tasty. They weren't, you know what I mean? They weren't just like, you know, shredders or nothing.
Yeah.
They actually were musicians, you know.
So tell me, who put your band
great.
together for that performance? Was that, I noticed it looked like there were some younger cats playing with you on that.
The Malone family had some friends that were gonna do it. Jersey Sullivan, and they were gonna have on bass. They were gonna have my good friend Matt, and we were actually, you know, it was just a lot of fun meeting these guys because I only got to talk to them probably like a month prior over text, and I called them. I ended up calling them, and it was just so crazy being able to like work with young players that really their chops were high caliber, and they learned the music, and they really like played it with feeling. They weren't, you know, just like robots. They were awesome. They were really fun to work with, easy to work with, and just like I said, they were just absolute killer players. And
yeah, they were really able to follow suit too. I noticed that during the performance and stuff, you had some dynamics going on as you normally do, and you were able to kind of. There wasn't a lot of like, you know, head nodding or looking or, you know, that kind of thing where you had to direct them. They fell into kind of the sound, and there was a part where you really worked the dynamic and you got really low with it, you know, and they caught on and they grabbed to that and they followed your lead and they were able to just really back you up in a way that was, you know.
Yeah, because
seemed like you guys had played more than a month or however many rehearsals you guys had. I mean, it definitely seemed like they knew the material.
Matthew Jaswinski on bass, you know, he's a killer player, you know, and just he really learns. He just really was so creative and just fun to work with, you know.
Yeah.
He really like put his stamp on the song.
Totally.
And you know, Jersey Sullivan, he was actually like, I think he was the what is it when you're the backup in a play? There's a word for it.
Like supporting role kind of thing or something, or like
I forget, but he was the School of Rock Broadway play.
Oh, I'm not sure.
On Broadway, he was the understudy.
The understudy, okay, got you.
Drummer, killer player, and just it was so fun to work with these guys, like, because it was just they were like, you know, young.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, people aren't familiar with you. It was awesome. You know,
from
what I've seen with you, you always play
awesome.
with these old cats, you know, that got the soul and got the chops and got the thing, you know, so seeing up there, I'm like, wait, where'd this backing band come from? You know, he's got some young guns up there with him.
Yeah, and everybody was from all over, you know, the States, you know, all over America.
Yeah.
It was awesome, you know. It was just
How many
really
times did you rehearse with these guys before that gig?
We rehearsed once at a booth.
Shoot, dude. That is so cool.
Like, the day we were going to play. A couple hours before we went on.
Yeah.
But I gave them a set list, you know, a month prior.
Yeah.
But even then, you know, but it was still great because, you know, working with good players, you know, like that have experience and really know what they're doing. It's you send them a set list, and they do their homework and look up videos of you doing it, or you send them a demo of you doing it or something, and it works. It's perfect, you know, and it was just awesome.
How killer, dude.
And yeah, it's like a huge thank you to the Malone family and Jimmy Wallace for having me there, because otherwise, you know, I wouldn't have been there in the first place.
Right.
And so I played my set on the Saturday, with those guys, and then on Sunday they did the competition.
Okay.
And oh man, that was a lot of fun. Like, just everybody in the contest was awesome. Like, so Saturday, Eric Johnson headlined on one of the stages outside.
Wow.
And he played a rendition of Pipeline.
Okay.
Which was so funny because already for a month I've been planning to do Pipeline at the competition. Like, you know, as soon as I got put in the competition, because I actually signed up for the competition the day of the deadline.
Okay.
So that was like, you know, a couple weeks before the...
Right, yeah.
And so as soon as we signed up, I knew right away I was going to do Pipeline.
That's my song. That's what I'm going to do.
I was like, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it was so awesome just to see Eric Johnson the night before, and like his second song was Pipeline.
Okay.
It was like, what?
Yeah,
oh my gosh, this is like awesome. You know, it was so cool.
We're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So on Friday night, after the convention, they had a whole All-Star Jam lined up. All-Star Jam lined up.
Yeah.
At Canton Hall in downtown Dallas.
Okay.
And it was so cool because, you know, they sent us a set list a month prior.
Right.
You know, to everybody that was going to be playing.
Yeah.
So Greg Koch and Jared James Nichols and Paul Reed Smith and just everybody, Justice West, like all
Some
these
names,
killer players.
yeah.
Simon McBride, just all these killer players, dude.
Yeah.
Just, it was killer. And being able to play with a lot of those guys was awesome. You know, it was
Just
really
to share
good
that stage,
experience.
I'm
and
sure, dude.
to really be cool with them, for them to be cool, and, you know, a lot of them saying, yeah, we heard of you, and a lot of them to see again, you know, because I always see them at NAMM, we always talk, and it was really cool. And yeah, Bosco France, a good friend of mine.
Okay.
Killer player. He plays with Paul Reed Smith, and he's it was just really cool to see a lot of people, you know, you only see a couple times a year, you know.
Right.
It's good for all of us to be right there, so it was really cool. And yeah, so we did that on Friday night, and then the Saturday night after the convention, we did a Allman Brothers tribute that night. But at one of the stages at the convention outside. Okay. And that was awesome. That was really a lot of fun.
Nice, dude.
Really, that was a lot of fun. Because it was just all
And then was
Allman
that
Brothers.
Same dudes? Same or
Yeah, all the same people.
Okay,
yeah,
right
everybody that was in the festival. There's so
outdoor
many
action.
more people too, like Derek St. Holmes.
Yeah.
On both nights, there was just so many more players and
Totally.
like too many to mention.
Everybody
There's
wants
so
to join
many.
in, yeah, for sure.
There's a lot. It was awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so I should mention you took first place.
Yeah, the contest. I did take first place, which was
What an honor, huh?
Such an honor, yeah.
Dang, man.
And you know, it was just it was awesome. It was really cool because, you know, Keeley was there, and I won a pedal board from them, and
Killer.
It was cool because I actually got to talk to them, you know, there and through emails, and actually got other pedals and
making
just
connections.
Really cool. You know, exactly, networking. It was such a great way to network. It was like, you know, the NAMM, that whole, you know, festival was like NAMM. Yeah. But just strictly like just vintage guitars. Right. And just killer, you know, guitar gear. It's just like, you know, it's awesome. It's like, why not go?
Yeah, totally, dude.
So cool. So it was a lot of fun, and yeah. So
well, good for you. You deserve that,
it was awesome to get first place. I was in shock.
Shredded, bro.
I mean, thank you so much.
It did. I mean, you earned your spot for sure, and you earned the, you know, the award.
I'm in the Ernie Ball Brotherhood of the Guitar. So when I was going to the festival, I knew there was going to be a lot of other players there that are in the Brotherhood. Yeah. And I was like, I have to take my Ernie Ball Axis.
I'm doing that.
I had to take that. So I took that, and I took my Firebird, my gold Firebird. And I took, a buddy of mine lent me his Modern, Gibson Modern. And it was awesome.
So you kind of rotated for that show between the three, or did you just have some backups?
For my gig, when I played on Saturday, at the festival, I used the Modern and the Firebird. Okay. Then at the competition, I used the Ernie Ball.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
But, yeah, like the jams at night, I used the Firebird. Okay. Yeah. Cause, that's
so that was 3 days, you said?
Yeah, 3-day event. Yeah.
How awesome, dude.
It's so fun, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to take it back a little bit here from what we were talking about earlier, mentioning. So you had started young, you said 9 years old, 10 years old, or
10.
whatever. And then from there, you know, with Larry and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of lead us after, you know, hooking up with Larry and doing the, you know, the open mic nights and stuff, and you hooked up with this other cat that you were mentioning.
Yeah, and
I mean, at this point, man, you're still a youngster. Yeah. You know? So, you know, walk me through first guitar. What was your first guitar?
So, like I mentioned, I had the Starcaster. Yeah. But before that, I was actually playing. My grandma has this old. I don't even know what model it is, but it's like from the 30s, and I forgot what it is. I had Larry look at it actually back then, and he told me what it is. You could read it inside the sound hole. Right. But it's old. Okay. It's like, I think it was made in Chicago.
It's got
actually.
mojo, bro.
It's old. And I was doing that, but when I was really little, I didn't know any, my other grandma would get guitars, the little miniature guitars from Mexico. Yeah. She'd bring them back, and I'd just be playing them like all random, as a little kid,
Yeah, right.
And so, after I had the Starcaster when I was 10, and I'd been playing for a couple years, I ended up going to Guitar Center one day and looking in the used gear. Okay. And they had a Gibson Gold Top Les Paul Deluxe. Okay. With the mini humbuckers.
Oh, heck yeah.
So I bought that because I actually went in there looking for this SG they had.
Okay. Was this still saving up money from your lawn mowing days?
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't doing gigs yet.
Okay. Yeah.
I was in the School of Rock at this point in Vista. and then now they're in Oceanside.
So how long did you do School of Rock?
Well, I did it for a couple years. I think 3 or 4 years. I think.
What age were you at that?
Actually, I did it like from 10 to maybe like 12.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was a couple years.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I did it at the School of Rock in Vista. Then they moved to Oceanside, so I went there for a couple years.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. And
yeah.
Yeah, so I had the gold top. But actually, before that, I bought a Dean Vendetta. I just remembered I bought that at Pete's Music.
Okay.
When Larry worked there.
Yeah, yeah.
I bought that. And then I bought the gold top.
Okay.
But I also ended up somewhere before that, ended up buying actually I didn't buy it. I got it as a gift one year. Fender acoustic DG BK60, I think it is. So it's a black acoustic Fender guitar, really nice. And so yeah, I had the gold top. That was the newest one at that time.
That was the main axe at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah. The nice one.
Yeah.
The good one.
And oh man, it gets, I don't even remember like so many guitars, but I ended up, getting the Firebird eventually as a gift for my
I gotta
grades.
stop you here. How many guitars do you have at this point? Let's make some people jealous.
It's not a whole lot. It's not a whole lot. I have to count. I don't know. But it's not a whole lot.
Put a number out.
Because
around-ish.
Like 8.
Okay.
Maybe because...
What the heck? I've seen through your Instagram. Because you swap guitars.
Because I have a lot of friends that are really cool.
I was like, man, I've seen so many different guitars.
A lot of my mentors, like the guy Paul and a lot of good mentors, that lend guitars to me and stuff,
That's
and
cool.
they're just really kind enough to do that and let me play them and borrow them for, for shows and stuff. So it's really
it's misleading looking
really
at
nice
your Instagram page and seeing all these killer guitars. I'm like, dang, this guy's got some killer guitars.
No, I do.
Man.
I have my Firebird, the gold one.
Yeah.
I have my gold top deluxe.
Yep.
I'm also sponsored by Iconic Guitars.
Okay.
So I have a gold quilt, Iconic.
What's the gold top that has it looks like it's not a Gibson. I've seen a picture of you playing a gold top that didn't have, it looked like a different, independent or something.
A gold top? I don't have another gold top.
Oh, really? Okay.
Was it a burst?
Maybe. I thought
like
it was
Les
a gold
Paul?
top. Okay, maybe it was a burst. I thought I seen a gold top that you had in one of your Instagram
I've been playing
pictures that didn't.
Iconic prototype Les Paul.
Maybe that's what it was.
And it's a burst.
Okay.
But it's like to spec of like a late 59.
Maybe it was a black and white photo and I thought it was a gold top or something.
Maybe.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I think it did say Iconic on it.
So yeah, it's pretty killer. It's like...
Yeah. So they're like a more smaller company, yeah, or no?
They're selling to a lot of people in Nashville and all over the place. Yeah, they're at NAMM every year, and they're doing pretty good boutique guitars.
Yeah,
for sure. Killer guitars, and that's a prototype.
it looked to spec, bro.
Yeah,
it looked killer.
It is. That's awesome. And yeah, that one, it's a prototype. So I've been playing that. That's like
I think that's probably the one I saw.
That's my go-to guitar for everything. Yeah, I take that with me everywhere. That's my favorite guitar.
Nice.
And so yeah, I also have that other Iconic. It's a Evolution S Limited. He did a gold one for a year, gold quill. Now I think the one he does now, it may be purple. I think, I'm not sure, but he doesn't do this one in gold anymore. But I got a gold one, gold quill. That was my first guitar I got from him, and that one's just awesome. It has Lawler pickups in it. Okay. With the coil tap. It's a 5-way switch, so it has 2 humbuckers. It's awesome. It's just killer guitar, and I play that, and I also work with Vola guitars, and I've been playing their Quaint Vosti guitars, which are like relic. I don't know if you've seen that one that looks like a Telly.
No.
And then I have this one that also looks like a Strat. Okay. But I swap with them though, so now I have the one that looks like a Strat, and I swap with their other models.
They all got different sounds and different jobs. The
Iconic guitars, they're out of like Escondido.
Okay.
But they're all over selling to all over.
Yeah.
And Vola guitars, they're international. Okay. And they're awesome. They're boutique guitars as well, selling all over the place, all over the world. And then I also just got with Lace guitars.
Okay,
Lace
them
pickups.
I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because a couple years ago at NAMM, from a friend of mine, and he lives in Hemet or Murrieta somewhere. Okay. And he was talking about this Strat he was selling, a left-handed Strat. Mm-hmm. And I was really interested in it, so I bought it off him for $100. It was all parts. Okay, with the Fender logo and all that stuff, and so I bought it off of him, and he brought it the next day to NAMM, and I got it after the show. And it had Lace sensor pickups in it. Yeah. And then now it's I I told Don Lace when I seen him, I said, yeah, I have a Strat with your pickups in it. And I showed him, and he's like, oh, those are the ones we did in the 90s. He's like, those are pretty good.
Those are good ones.
He said, those are good ones. I said, cool, and it was just so weird because I got this guitar, and I had these pickups in it, and I was like, I really like these, Lace. And, once I got those, I looked them up, and, they've done Jeff Beck and Clapton and everybody, Danny
That was a
Gatton
lefty that you switched to a righty?
Well, no, it's just a lefty, and I switched it to a righty, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's flipped, the string
Yeah, I
flipped.
think I saw pictures of that one, too, and I was like,
I
pulling the
play
Hendrix,
it like
dude.
exactly, because what I use it for is the 6-string society shows.
Okay.
We do a 27 Club tribute, that's with Ken Rexroad. So he does a big production, and we'll do those shows, and I do the Hendrix parts.
Okay.
So it's like perfect to have that guitar, it's awesome.
It's got the tone and the sound for sure.
Exactly, because the pickups are different.
Yeah.
When they're flipped. If you look at a Strat, the pickups are actually going the opposite way. The back pickups going the opposite way.
That's part of Hendrix's sound right there.
Exactly. The back pickups opposite. Yeah. So it has a whole different sound, and so that's fun. And also, what else Lace gave me a guitar. I have the Cybercaster with their aluminum tone pickups.
Okay.
And I think it may be like an ash body. I'm not sure, but it's blonde. It almost has like that blonde telly look.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like it doesn't have a telly body at all. You have to check it out. You gotta check out the Cybercaster.
Yeah,
that's a killer original guitar. Just awesome.
No, I think I did see that one on your Instagram. Maybe
it's awesome.
It sounds familiar.
Has its own sound. Like I can't even compare it to another guitar because it just really has its own sound. And
see, for those of you who aren't guitar players out there, you don't know that every guitar does something different. There's people that go, "Why do you have so many guitars? Do you really? I mean, come on!" It's like, no. You don't know. It's like baseball players with different bats or golfers with different clubs. There's just they all do their own thing. So for those of you who don't play guitar and don't understand why some of us, like me, have like 14 or 15 guitars, it's because not only are we passionate about the instrument itself and we need to have a variety, but they all do something different. They all sound different. The woods react differently.
Exactly.
They all have different fret ranges. They all have different pickups that sound different. So for those of you who don't know, and Anthony, you can back me up on, they all have their own job. They all do their own thing. And it depends on what style of music you're playing, determines what guitar you're going to pick up. So that's why us guitar players have to have numerous guitars.
Because for me, usually, and I noticed this, I take a guitar with humbuckers.
Yeah.
I take a guitar with P90s and a guitar with single coil pickups.
Right.
But sometimes I'll take humbuckers and then a guitar, like my Firebird with mini humbuckers.
Yeah.
And
they all do something different.
Or P90s. Or sometimes I just take two guitars.
Different sound, different tone, different everything.
Depends on the gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
For sure.
But yeah, different tones for sure out of the three, All
right, so I'm going to go back to something you mentioned earlier. You said you have some expertise in theory. So coming from a kid who's still in high school over here.
I know a little bit.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, for me, I'm like more of an improviser. I never got into it. I mean, I studied Clapton and Hendrix and Jimmy Page, and I play riffs.
Yeah.
But I never learned any of the theory. I had this background in my own brain where which was wrong as an older man. Now I'm realizing I didn't want to taint the being able to just close my eyes and play in the pentatonic scale or whatever. I always felt like these players that it was too much. I would be mathing it out too hard in my head and thinking too hard about what I was doing as opposed to just letting it be soulful and play.
Yeah.
But now that I'm seeing these Joe Bonamassas, which you've been compared to, all these other different players and people with this huge music theory background, but they're able to intertwine that with the improvisational stuff. I'm realizing now, I mean, Trevor from Pete's Music, he's another player that's got all this background in music theory and stuff, but he's able to take the soul of that and just blend them together. And I'm like, dang, man, I should have learned some of this theory. I never got into it.
Yeah, it's like, I've been lucky. I've been really honored to work with Dave Blackburn.
Okay.
He's out of Fallbrook.
Instructor or?
Guitar teacher, yeah.
Okay.
Originally from England.
Okay.
But he's been here for a really long time. And, it's funny because when I first met him, I had no idea he was from England because to me, he didn't talk
Didn't have the accent?
He didn't have an accent.
Okay.
But really, this guy is just really, he knows theory like the back of his hand. Dave Blackburn, check him out. He has a studio as well, but he teaches guitar teacher.
Uh-huh.
And just really, like, if you want to learn theory, he's the man. He's the guy you go to. Everybody goes to him.
Right.
Because he really just, he teaches you it.
Yeah,
and the way he does it, it's just, you know, he hands you the tools. He gives you, you know, here's how this works. You know. You can use it if you choose to, but here it is. At least learn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really great.
Yeah.
He's a really great teacher at the approach of really teaching. So it's always really easy to work with him, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, it's at such a young age for you to embrace the theory with all the soul and the just improvisation.
And, yeah, like,
I mean, that's the way to go, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, you could see it in your playing. Anybody that watches you can see it.
It's just, you know, a good idea. I think just to learn what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
And, you know, like Dave Blackburn, you know, told me, he said, you know, knowledge is power, and for real, it's really with guitar playing, you know.
Weaponize yourself, bro.
I was able to talk to, you know, Eric Gales. I always see him at NAMM.
Uh-huh.
And we were talking he was at Point Loma Nazarene University. And, you know, like he said, you know, he took he said he took everything, you know, all the theory at a young age, you know, learned everything, and so now, you know, you just play with emotion when you're on stage. Yeah. Because you already go based on what you learn. So you're not when you're playing.
It's calculated subconsciously.
You're not. You're not thinking about it when you're playing. You know, and you're really not. You know,
those scales are just back there.
It's just
hanging out.
It's stored in here, and you really are. You're choosing it because you know you already know how it sounds, and you're just going. You know what I mean? It's just.
There's a balance, though.
You're not thinking about it too much. Right. You're not, you know, going, I'm going to play this over that. You know, you're not thinking like that.
Totally.
You know? You're still thinking and playing from your heart, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're just using those tools you have, so.
Right.
It's really a lot of fun. Yeah.
So how many years have you been going to NAMM?
Oh, man, I think it's been like 3 years, 4 years.
Okay.
Something like that.
So more or less kind of like as you've started to kind of get a name for yourself.
Well, yeah, the first year I went...
Were you invited, or did you just...
Well, the first year I went, a buddy of mine got me a pass.
Okay.
Me and my dad. He got me and my dad a pass. And so we went, checked it out, and...
Yeah. Isn't it a blast?
Yeah, and I knew...
I mean, being someone that just gets a ticket, not being, you know, having to promote something, or,
well,
you know...
I had business cards, and I was still promoting myself, but...
Yeah.
And I knew a lot of the people that own booths and stuff, and people that...
So you'd already made connections in that point.
Have sponsored with their company and stuff, so it was just good to now go and connect with them in person, some of them, and, you know, stuff like that.
Right.
And then, every year at NAMM, it's like so much more has happened, so it's like...
It's bigger and bigger.
I'm busier every year at NAMM.
You get bigger and bigger.
And it's, like, so much fun, like, and it's so crazy to see that, because, like, you know... I remember the first year compared to how it's going to be this year coming up. You know, this year it's going to be crazy. Yeah. But it's going to be a lot of fun, though. I enjoy it, so it's, you know...
For those of you who don't know about NAMM Show, it's the Comic-Con of guitar or music world.
Yeah,
it's just Anaheim Convention Center. It's huge. It's different levels.
Yeah.
Anybody and everybody that's anything is there promoting their thing. So many musicians you get to meet. I'm sure for you, I mean, it's really cool to kind of see some fans and you know, meet up with musicians.
Good to see, you know, fans and also, you know, your sponsors that are far, you know, out of state or, you know, far in state, you know, and just good to connect with everybody, and it's just great for networking.
Yeah,
and, you know, it's really good.
See the upcoming gear that's coming out for the year, test stuff out.
Yeah, I was lucky one year. I was able to play at the Hilton stage on a couple years ago on Saturday night at 9 o'clock, 9
so
p.m.
Many people,
so it was like the prime time. You know, I got to play there, and that was awesome. And
killer.
You know, but every year now it's getting busier doing demos at booths that I'm having my sponsors like BC Audio and you know, Iconic Guitars, and this year I'll be, you know, doing Vola, and there's, you know, Anatomy of Sound guitar picks I picked up this last year at NAMM, and you know, just so many cool you know, good things, you know, a lot of good people to work with, just in great stuff, you know, and you know NAMM's just a lot of fun all around. Yeah.
Even if you're nobody and you're just like don't know anybody and you went by yourself and didn't know a soul, you'd still have such a blast just being a musician.
Like if if you appreciate music and you understand what goes into it, like you'll enjoy NAMM. Yeah, you'll definitely you'll have so much fun.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
My dad worked for Roland for a bunch of years, and this was back in the 90s, and like where they weren't so hardcore with like the security and stuff.
Yeah.
So my dad would get me a name badge that would say like Jay Hendrix on it. You know, it was like not even my real name.
Yeah.
And I would be able to roll right in. And
you can still do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had Fallbrook Kid on mine.
Okay.
When you're in, other people have stuff, all different names.
I got to go the last
names.
couple years with Pete's Music because they get tickets. And
I always see Pete there every year, actually. I always see him.
Yeah, but they was telling me that, oh, no, it's got to be your real name and all this stuff. They're a little bit more hardcore on security. I was like, man, I used to remember, man, the swag you used to get. They used to give me those bags, and boy, I would leave that place with so much stuff. It was like, I mean, I guess you got to know where to go.
Well, they still give you stuff, but I heard that, they used, like back in the day, they used to give you pedals.
Oh, pedals, drumsticks, magazine. I mean, there's pick. I used to leave. I get a whole year's supply of picks
and magazines, but yeah, I heard they used to give drumsticks, pedals,
everything,
like,
bro.
like patch cables. I heard they used to do like the little, little products they would give out, and I'm like, what? No way.
Yeah. So I mean,
awesome.
they've gotten a little skimpier over the years, but hey. It's getting bigger and bigger, and there's more people. So
it's too big now.
It's too big now. Yeah.
They gotta do what they gotta do.
Yeah.
And so it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good time. So anyway, I just want to bring up. I heard you talking about NAMM, so I was like, I want to. Let's
Are you
jump
going this
into
year?
that. I'm sure I'll go. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. I'm sure I'll try to catch you there. For sure,
hopefully
brother.
I'll see you there.
Let's see. I wanted to ask you about your dad, Kenny, being your manager.
Oh yeah.
So let's get into a little bit of the family history here.
So my dad, he actually he works in a job, a regular job, and me and him, we do this together. We're a good team, and
he's such a personable guy. Coming into the store, dude, I was like, this is awesome, a father and son thing going on.
He doesn't think of himself as a manager, even though I guess you could say that's what he plays. He's still like a dad, and he's still like
he's just looking out for you.
Exactly. So it's like it's a lot of fun being able to go and do all these things with my dad.
Yeah.
A lot of good times, so yeah.
He must be so proud of you, man. Just coming a long way in such a short amount of time, bro. I mean,
thank you.
You've really applied a lot of things that, like, there's not a lot of youngsters with the kind of drive that you have,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's really something to be said,
Thanks, man.
I mean, there's a lot of talk and a lot of dreamers and a lot of wannabe Instagrammers and that want to be celebrities for nothing with no work put into it.
Yeah.
And to be at the level and caliber of what you're playing is, there is hours and hours and hours of practice that you've done in your own room with nobody listening. I guarantee that. I haven't been there. I haven't seen it. I just know it from seeing you play, and people don't really get that.
And not only that, but also having all the experience playing out.
Yeah.
And playing with people better than me, and
playing with other people
and gaining
for sure.
respect from all these high caliber players. And
anybody
just doing
that takes lessons, when they start playing with other players, it just ups your caliber. It just ups the playing. I mean, you just get better playing with other people.
You do. You really do.
And being a type of player where you say, I'll play with anybody, I'll play at any time, that's what's going to make you better. And, for you, I mean, I've seen the list of how many people you've played with.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of great names in there, but I'm sure there's a lot of nobodies, too.
And
that, you always take something from somebody.
Yeah, and there's even more big names I need to put up on there on the website, too. I haven't updated it, but it's just so much fun, and also just playing with everybody.
Yeah. So tell me about Greg Douglas, since we're talking about this right now.
He's a good buddy of mine.
So how did that come to be?
I met him.
For those of you who don't know, he's Steve Miller Band and like a numerous other kind of projects.
So many other bands, Van Morrison, Greg Kin. So I met him a couple years ago. He was actually playing at the Valley Fort one night.
Okay.
And I knew the whole band I was playing with him. It was Paul Beach on bass, and so he's a good buddy of mine. So I went out to go watch them, and I ended up sitting in. And we've pretty much been good buddies ever since. I've been playing shows together and doing a lot of Ken Rex Road projects together, doing his 6-String Society shows. And, sitting in with Greg and, it's just
where do most of the 6-String Society gigs take place?
They do them all over.
They do them all over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mainly North County and, San Diego, all over. But they, sometimes I think they come down to, this part of town.
Right.
But, they're Ken Rexroad's actually his thing is really expanding. It's doing really good,
right?
And really helping a lot of musicians too. Yeah, you should definitely check him out too, man.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys could probably.
I got some homework to do.
Work together or something. Yeah.
So Mr. Douglas, I did
Greg
notice
Douglas,
he Do you have any connection? I'm sure you're in with Darren Greatly. I'm sure you know who those guys are, and you're in with those guys.
I used to play guitar for them for like a year.
Okay. Was that before Brandon was in the band?
No, Brandon was in Canada for a while. He stayed over there for a little while.
And that's when Greg was in there too, right?
Yeah, so me and Greg would take different gigs.
Okay.
They would offer us, offer me a bunch of gigs. They'd offer Greg gigs. And, so I was playing with them and got to be real tight. And, we got to be really close friends and good buddies. And, they're really like family.
They're a great band. Me and my wife went to Harrison Ranch for like a yoga music retreat thing up there. And they killed it, bro. I mean, they had
they're awesome.
They had a bunch of acts. Their sister was playing up there. Sister Speak, or what's her name?
Sherry Ann.
Yeah, she played, and I mean they had like 5 or 6 different other all local Fallbrook kind of area acts and stuff.
Well, yeah, because they're from Canada.
They're from Canada, yeah.
Exactly.
But they recorded down in like San Onofre, San Clemente area,
exactly,
and then they've been, they kind of when they're here, I think they kind of call Fallbrook area their home,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they love it down here. I remember when they were here, because they were here for a year, then they went back, then they came back. And
opened up for Bon Jovi, really I saw, dude, which was kind of crazy.
That was awesome. Yeah, they did that, which was cool.
Those blood harmonies, the dad and the brothers got, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
You cannot beat that.
It's a lot of fun working with them, and I just talked to Patrick Kroom the other day.
Keyboard.
He's like no, he's the guitar player.
Oh, Patrick. Okay,
acoustic guitar player.
That's right.
Singer.
Yeah.
And he's
Liam's
the keyboard player.
Right.
Brandon, Braden Terrio is the drummer, and Dale Kroom's the dad, singer, bass player, and sometimes they have guest bass players.
Yeah, they just had a birthday recently.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to the birthday action of those guys. But
and then Brandon Haddo.
Yeah.
On guitar. And,
right.
Yeah, so I just talked to Patrick, and he said, they'll be here, I think, in September.
Yeah, they're coming down. I would love to. I would be honored to have not only you being here. It was awesome, but I'd love to have a band like that. I mean, just some high caliber musicians, and I actually did reach out to them on their Instagram. If you guys are listening, I reached out to them just to see if maybe they'd be interested in doing the podcast or whatever. But
they're really nice guys. Fun, easy
down
to work
to earth,
with, and
totally.
Yeah, I think we'll be working together when they come back. I think we might be doing some stuff, hopefully. So. I hope
and your style would fit in right with their retro kind of thing that they got going too.
Because it was a lot of fun playing with them, because
they do great covers,
Because I'm not, I don't just play one genre. I study everything and really have good. I've been able to, and very fortunate to be able to go out and actually play different genres a lot. Out and really get the chops in every genre and understand different, how it works, and being able to do that and tying in the music theory to it is just so awesome when you can do that. So. Yeah, just, Darren Greatly, they're great, and playing with them was a lot of fun. And
well, the segue to them was Greg, because I was saying you were playing with him, and then I saw that he was playing with them. And
Greg plays with them sometimes.
Damn, there's a Fallbrook thing going on here with all these cats, and...
Yeah, because Greg, he's San Marcos, I think. Yeah, Greg is good guy. Plays with everybody, obviously.
Yeah. So along the laundry list of different players, I want to know. Just give me a little insight on the Ron Blair, dude. Like how did?
Oh yeah, Ron
Blair.
Where
did that come into play?
So Ron Blair lives in Carlsbad.
By the way, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. That's who that dude's from. So anybody who doesn't know, just throwing it out there.
Yeah, he's the bass player, and he's a good guy. And good, just all around, just really nice guy, really humble, and just. Always a friend, just really good friend, and every time I see him. And
how'd you hook up with him?
Well, I met him because at the Oceanside Moose Lodge they do events, and Stevie Solis is from Oceanside, and he's played with everybody from Rod Stewart to the Rolling Stones to just everybody,
Yeah.
And Bootsy Collins and Buddy Miles, just everybody. He's been in bands with everybody, and
the real deals.
So whenever he comes back to his hometown, all his buddies, help run the Oceanside Moose Lodge, and they all come and they'll do events, cancer benefits, and they'll have a couple hundred people show up, and it's a big thing. It's all these old school people that show up, that grew up around, Carlsbad, Oceanside, Vista, just all over North County, and it's just one big,
one big
reunion thing, almost, because everybody knows each other, different generations. It's it's cool, and all locals, from different generations, just. So it's a lot of fun, good event, and I always play those events. And so Ron Blair was there playing with Stevie Solis, And also, Bernard Fowler from the Rolling Stones was there too, singing.
Okay.
And just awesome, great guy, and just, yeah, he was just... It was awesome to see them all get up on stage together and do some, you know, just awesome rock songs. You know, they did some Rolling Stones, and you know, it's just a lot of fun. Those events are really cool.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they always post them on Facebook when they're going to do them, and they're for a good cause. And like I said, there's high caliber people at those events.
Dude,
so.
Petty and the Heartbreakers, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
God rest his soul now, but
Yeah,
I mean, Ron
exactly.
Blair, dude, that's a
Yeah,
you know,
Ron Blair
I was
is
like, I gotta
killer.
hear this story.
Like Ron Blair and, you know, Stevie Salas.
Yeah.
And, like I said, Bernard Fowler, and just a lot of just awesome players that are just, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, for you being such a youngster, bro, I mean, how awesome is it for you to have these opportunities?
Oh, yeah, it's such an honor, dude. It's like, it's crazy to even get put in those situations.
You are so, you gotta know you're on your way. I mean, you definitely.
Well, I don't know. I just still think, well, because I am still the underdog. So I just still, you know, I don't know, man. I'm just still working hard, you know. We'll see what happens, you know.
But I mean, being young and being good and knowing that like you still got this long road ahead of you. I mean, any good player knows you never stop learning. We all know that. We all know that there's always something to learn. There's always somewhere to go. It's never like you're like
it's a never-ending process, you know.
Yeah,
that's the thing about music. It's like you can never stop learning.
Right.
You know, it goes on. It's
but being
for the rest of your
a
life.
youngster, having the support that you have, being able to have made some connections and know that you'll make more connections as time goes by. I'm really impressed with how humble you are and your playing ability, and just knowing that this kid's gonna go somewhere, dude. I mean, I was so stoked to know when I reached out to you that you kind of said, "Yeah, I'd do that." I mean, I'm not anybody, you know.
When you reached out, I was like, "Thanks," you know, because really, I was, you know, when you asked me, I was like, "That's a great opportunity. That'll be cool to go do that."
Totally.
You know, so. And I felt bad that I had to cancel on you the first time.
It's all good. I knew it would work out.
Stupid wildfires, you know, going along, you know, all over California.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad I was able to come in this time, and I was really honored when you reached out, because you know, I thought it'd be a great thing to be a part of. So why not?
I was stoked, bro. I mean, I was really like honored to know that like you weren't like, "Hey, bro, I'm too busy," because you are busy. Yeah, you've got so many shows going on.
But I figure
you're
I could
all
always
over the
make
place.
time for whatever, you know. People can make time. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
So,
I really appreciate it. I wanted to ask you as well about the Fallbrook Vigilantes. What was the deal with that? I was kind of reading a little bit about that. Is that ongoing still, or is that something from...
I would use that name, but now I just Anthony Fallbrook Kid Cullins or whatever.
Was that rotating kind of musicians behind you for that project?
Well, that was like Dwayne Hathorn and on drums and Bruce Borden on bass.
Okay.
Yeah, and it would
Local
be different
guys.
people too. Yeah, it would be different people, and they played with everybody. I'd have like 3 rhythm sections I choose from, and they played with everybody, you know. And so it was just rotating musicians, But,
and so that's more like just local gigs that you just like...
Yeah, like I'd have Pat Raymond sometimes on bass, or Victor Franklin, or Edward Hot Cleveland on drums. He used to play with Eric Gales and just everybody. He's a killer player from Memphis, but he lives in San Diego, and been lucky to become friends with all these great players, you know, and so many other great players out there too that have been able to, you know, get to know. And
a lot of these cats recognize you're playing. I mean, that's why they would, you know, give you the time of the day. You got to realize that. But you're doing your homework, you know.
Yeah.
I saw you're playing. I know you play like Palamesa and all these different places locally. But you're playing at Estrella's, dude.
On Saturday. August 11th.
Their chips.
Yeah.
Their chips and salsa, half fried flour, and corn tortilla chips, bro. I mean, their food's great. We love that venue. I mean, that place, it's so big.
Yeah.
It's such a cool... I mean, I know they have the small one down on, like, the main strip, but the big restaurant that they have, bro, God, their food is so good. I love that place. And so I was like, we might have to... I told my wife we might have to try to go down and go catch Anthony down there, bro.
And then I'm also doing a bunch of other gigs, but on September 1st, I'm playing with Casey Hensley at the...
Right. So tell me about that collaboration, dude. How did you hook up with her? Because you guys are playing a lot of shows together.
Like we're playing like September 1st at the New Blues Festival in Long Beach on the main stage at 1:30. And then we're also getting ready September 29th. We're going to be playing in Chicago. No, actually Rockford, Illinois.
Oh, okay.
For the Blues Blast Awards. She's up for 2
how did
awards.
you meet her? How did that come to be?
I've known her for a couple years through Rex Road events, but I've actually known her through mutual friends from School of Rock from a long time ago when they used to go there.
Are you guys around the same age? Or?
No. She's 26.
Okay, yeah. She's got some soul.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Bro.
So yeah,
she's got some pipes. So she can sing.
I would sit in with.
She could sing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
she can sing.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
yeah, she's awesome, and yeah, she plays with really a lot of great guitar players and like high caliber, just just monster guitar players that are well established.
Liberty or something down there with you and Greg, and there was like
Liberty Station.
Yeah,
with Laura Chavez.
That was a cool performance too. With a couple different guitar players there. Yeah. Dude playing like a box guitar, and there was
Nathan
like a
James.
chick shredding it up.
Yeah,
you guys
Laura Chavez,
rotating dudes up, and girls and guys up there on stage killing it.
Yeah,
with her singing, that was cool.
Yeah, so that was a Rexford production thing. So that was at the end of that was everybody.
You guys
that
did Little
Wing,
show. Dude. I was watching that one.
Yeah,
I love that version you guys did.
Oh yeah, thanks.
That was killer.
And
I gotta say though, out of you guys all got your spotlight.
Yeah.
I'm not tooting your horn, bro. You had the tone and the confidence and just I don't know. There was something about when you took your lead, when you took.
Oh, thanks.
Dude, you just had this thing about you, bro.
Thank you.
Like you're so smooth and got your phrasing and you just. I mean, dude, I was just kind of like.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry to say, I mean, Greg's been around. All these people have been around, but
they're awesome.
I was just watching you. I'm like, dude, I dug your part of that out of anybody. It was like,
thank you,
killing it. And the chick, she was playing more like to the vest of like the Hendrix recording version, which I really dug. She was kind of playing some of the licks from like the album version, which I was really kind of digging it. But
yeah, Laura Chavez, she's a monster. She's played with everybody, Candy Cane, and just everybody, man. And yeah, it's a lot of fun to be able to play with people, all those people, and even at the same time, like you just said. But yeah, playing with Casey's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because, I'd play with her whenever she needed a guitar player. And so, we're doing some gigs. And, she asked me, do you want to just be in the band? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure,
Right.
So it's just a lot of fun playing with her.
So how many shows do you have, like, lined up with her now?
Oh, I have a lot. Yeah, I have a
Okay.
whole calendar. The calendar's, like, stocked. Yeah,
so you're doing your own solo stuff with her?
So I do my own stuff with her. And sometimes I'll still do the hired gun thing, and I'll, do, when people call.
Yeah,
but I still do that, if I can,
when you got the calendar open.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, but, mainly it's my band and Casey. Yeah, Hensley band. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. That's really a lot of
She's
fun
local.
with them.
She's local then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's another person I'm gonna have to try to reach
North
out
County.
to.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so being 17 years old, as you said, I think I read something about some aspirations for you after you graduate, coming up next year or so.
Yeah, I've been.
What's the plan? Are you at Berkeley?
I've been talking to them, and I'm getting ready. I have to apply and all that stuff still, but I'd like to go to Berkeley College of Music in Boston. That would be like a dream for sure. That'd be awesome to do that, and just all the things I learned and all the connections you'd meet, and just to also have that in the back pocket for the rest of your life would just be awesome. And
how good for you, bro.
So hopefully that'll happen.
I'm rooting for you, and I'll throw some vibes your way for that to happen.
Thank you.
I'm really stoked, a youngster like yourself, wanting to continue that education and wanting to take it to a place such as that, where you can really continue to up your game. I mean, instead of resting on your laurels and some of the connections you've made and thinking some kids this day and age would think like, I've already made it, I've got all these connections and I'm doing pretty good for myself as opposed to, being in a garage band and playing for bar money or whatever. I mean, that you would take the step to say, I'm going to still continue my education. I want to go to school. I mean, good for you, bro. I mean, that just shows that you're on your way, bro. Because it's like
that. You can't get comfortable. Once you get comfortable,
you can't.
That's when, you have to have that drive. You still have to, want it. Cause
that's all the more reason why I see you going places, bro. I mean, you really have that mindset. You're humble, but you got the drive, and you want to continue to search, seek it. Find it, sponge it. There's so much more out there to learn, stumble upon. That's so great.
Yeah,
dude. I'm really. You're an inspiring person for these young kids that are out there.
Thank you. That really means a lot.
Want to find their niche or find their way. I say look to this guy right here.
Thank you.
Definitely, bro.
That means
that's
a lot,
an inspiration to these kids,
Thanks so much.
Because this day and age, the record business and all this stuff, it's so crazy. It's so in limbo, and who knows how to carve out a name for yourself, find a niche.
Yeah.
It's by playing live. It's by learning your chops and getting out there and playing.
Exactly.
That's the only way that people can really do it now. And you're doing that, and that's an example for some of these kids that you're carving your own path.
Yeah,
and
you have to go do the work.
they can see that, bro. They can see that, this kid's out busting his hump. He's playing gigs, and that's,
for sure.
That's totally where it's at, brother.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to know that you can be an example.
Thank you.
So, what kind of pedals and amps are you? We got into the guitars a little bit.
A
little bit more gear talk here.
So,
So you got a great killer tone, bro. You really do. I'm sure it's taken you years to dial that, as any guitar player does.
I'm always using new stuff all the time too. But so let's go back. Since you were talking about the story, I remember, what was it? The year I was in 7th grade for my birthday. My birthday is December 19th, so it's right around Christmas. For the whole year, I wanted a Hot Rod DeVille.
Okay.
I got a Hot Rod DeVille. I got a 410, and that's what I got, and I was stoked with it. And I ended up later on buying a Super Reverb. Mm-hmm. And, in the meantime, I was always borrowing different amps, trying out different things. And
those things are killer, by the way, bro. We got one at the store right now, 68 Super Reverb.
That's one of my favorite amps.
Dude.
I love those and Bassmans. Mm-hmm. But, I have a Super Reverb, so I'd use that. And then I started working with this company out of the Bay Area. They're called BC Audio.
Okay. You mentioned them earlier. I never heard of them.
Yeah,
okay,
I mentioned
so they're
them.
Bay Area.
They're at NAMM every year, and they're boutique hand-wired amps, plexi style amps, but with the modern twist. They're like if Marshall were to keep pumping out. Yeah. These. It's they're awesome.
Right.
Hand-wired. Bruce Clement, nice guy. He really does it right. He really does the amp justice. They sound awesome. And so I use that. I use the Grand Prix 100 with the 212 cabinet he makes with the Celestion 75-watt creambacks from the custom shop in Europe. Yeah. Killer speakers.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, just awesome. Just sounds great. That rig just sounds awesome. So I use that for some of the bigger stuff. And, sometimes I'll use my Super. Mm-hmm. But what I want to try and do is actually, if I have a big show, but I don't know, this is kind of crazy. I like to have the Super and the BC, and have the BC for my dirty tone.
Split signal some stuff.
I wouldn't use any pedals. I'd have my BC set for my dirty tone. Right. And I'd have the Super with only a foot switch for the reverb. Not for the reverb, for the tremolo. I'd have the reverb off because I use a Fender Boss 63 reverb tank pedal. Okay. Which is the real deal. That thing's awesome. So I use that, and I'd have that going through both amps. Mm-hmm. I would just use the Super for the clean tone and the BC for the bite, and I just use those two amps. Yeah. But I also use sometimes I'll use my Oddfellow Effects Caveman overdrive. They're out of Riverside. Okay. Killer overdrive. Everybody's using them, like Joe Perry, just everybody's using them. Nice. So I use that, and I work with Henrietta Pedals. I got sponsored by them. I have what is it called? The Planetarium. It's a reverb and a phaser. Okay. But I use that sometimes, but I like using this one I have. It's called the Emerald Prince preamp. Okay. So it's like it's like the preamp from a Plexi. I mean, not from a Plexi, from a Echoplex. Okay. But without the delay. So it just does what an Echoplex does to your tone. Okay. Killer. It makes it really fat, just really deep.
So you mentioned tremolo as far as the amp goes.
Yeah, the amp tremolo.
Do you ever I have a Rotovibe. And
nice.
Where the Univibe is what Hendrix started with and went to the Rotovibe.
I have a Univibe pedal I got one year from Eddie Kramer.
Yeah. Do you ever mess with that?
Yeah, I use that. And I also have a Dunlop, a old school Dunlop one where it's the box and it's also the foot switch.
Yeah, right.
Dunlop,
it's like chrome.
Univibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's killer.
Yeah.
That one
I almost got that
cool.
one, but then I saw that Hendrix started with that and then he moved to the Rotovibe. Yeah. And I know I'm a big Pearl Jam guy, and McCready, the lead guitar player, he uses the Rotovibe too.
Yeah, that's killer.
So I was like, and they were both kind of, I mean, there wasn't a much price difference.
Exactly.
But I was like, the one's got 2 components, and then the Roto Vibe's all in one, and it looks like a wah-wah, and it's like, will fit better on my board and stuff. So I ended up just going with the Roto Vibe, and I dig it, dude. I mean, it's got that Leslie killer tone. You can get all the Hendrix stuff going with those, and so I was just curious if you ever messed with those. Or
I have the, what is it, the Dunlop Band of Gypsies Fuzz Face, the hand-wired version. That thing's awesome. Yeah. But I work also with, like, I also have Keeley pedals too, like I mentioned earlier, and I use the D&M drive. Okay. A lot. I use that.
What's that? D&M?
It's the Dan and Mick pedal, that pedal show. Okay. On YouTube, they're big on there, and so it's a pedal they made with Keeley. Awesome. Okay. The one side's like a clone, the other side is like just killer overdrive channel, just awesome. It's like really just up their high end, you know, boutique. And, and I have some other stuff I use by them, and I also.
Are you ever evolving and changing your board out, or do you have some that you...
Well, sometimes I use a pedal board, sometimes I don't. Mm-hmm. Like, because I don't use a whole lot of stuff. It just depends what type of music or what gig. So, like, with the Casey Hensley band, I only use a little bit of stuff. I have, like, a tuner, and if I'm using, you know, like a Fender amp, I'll have something, you know, to give me dirt. If I'm using my BC audio, I won't use anything because I can get a nice grit out of that. Yeah. And I just use a reverb pedal. Yeah. I always use a reverb pedal. Yeah. And, but I'll also use, like, a Bogner. Love Bogner. Their stuff is awesome. I have a Bogner Lagrange, so it's like a plexi in a box. Just awesome, high end. Just like this thing's like one of the like most killer overdrive pedals you could get. Like everybody loves them. Good reviews and just it sounds killer. So I use that, and I have that set like a 50 watt, almost like plexi. Okay. And I use that, you know, with like my super. Yeah. And the reverb pedal. So yeah, that's like. You know,
killer tone right there, bro.
Tuner, the like an overdrive pedal and reverb, you know, and that's all.
Are you not a big wah-wah guy?
Oh no, I'm a wah-wah freak, dude.
Like, what wah-wah do you use?
I have so many different wah pedals, but my favorite one I have to say is probably the Dunlop Joe Bonamassa, because that one's so deep and vocal-like. Right. So I use that. Sometimes I'll use that with Casey. Okay. Like it depends. Like if we're doing like a small gig and we're not a small gig. If we're doing like a, you know. Like we're doing like some 45-minute sets, like usually for festivals and stuff. Right. It depends what it is. If it's like a 45-minute set for a showcase at a small venue, right. Depending on the stage, I'll bring a little board, like the 3-pedal. Mm-hmm. But if we're doing like a bigger, like a festival, and, you know, I'll bring a pedal board with like a wah just in case. I have a compressor because even outdoors it could sound a little different. Totally. So I'll use a compressor sometimes. Yeah. Leave that on just so it, you know, changes, you know, it makes the sound how I'd usually like it. Yeah, yeah. And like the Henrietta pedal helps too, like that one I mentioned. Sometimes I'll use that. But yeah, basically still the same thing. Yeah. I know, and there's all these old cats, bro, that like you get into like the Joe Perrys or the whoever. Some of these dudes that like, you know, they don't use any pedals. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Their tone is in the amp, the guitar, and the fingers.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You know what I mean? And limited, I get that. You know,
that's why I'm the same way. Like I use limited stuff.
It's such a toss-up because some of the pedals are fun and they're cool and they got different things like that they provide.
I don't use like a lot of effects. Like it's really just what makes the amp fat. Yeah. And then that's it.
Yeah, driving that amp, those tubes, usually
I try to naturally drive it. So it's really just the amp. Right. These are just to help me get that sound without me having to make the amp super loud. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And without using an attenuator or anything. You know, this just helps me get that sound without turning it up loud. Totally. And yeah, like I said, on festivals, I'll use the BC audio and I just plug straight into
crank it, dude.
With the reverb tank pedal, and it gets me the sound I need.
Totally. Yeah.
And yeah, I'll use my super on some of the smaller gigs, and that's when I use the overdrive pedal. And I still use the reverb pedal. Yeah. And I have my tuner. I always have my tuner. Yeah. But sometimes I'll have a wah, you know.
So I'm sure you've tried all kinds of amps, though, in your day, bro. I mean, the Friedmans and the Oranges.
Yeah,
and the,
I love Friedman and I love Two Rock. Those are like my two favorites. Well, no, because I love Bogner a lot. Yeah. So Bogner is like probably my most favorite.
Vox? Are you a fan of Vox at all or anything?
Vox?
I know a lot of people like the Vox.
I love the old school Vox AC30s.
Yeah, the AC30s.
Yeah, those are awesome. The 212s, those are killer.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much gear out there, bro. I mean, it's never ending,
there's
bro.
So much. There's
and especially when you get into studio stuff and you want to record. I mean, it's like mixing up your sound and just trying out different combinations. You spend hours. It's so great.
I haven't played a Dumble yet.
Okay.
I love to play a dumble. You ever heard of a dumble?
I have not. No.
Oh no, you're missing out. So
I've heard of the name, but I haven't seen. I don't know what they look like or
so that's
anybody
what
that
Robert
uses
Ford
them.
uses,
Okay.
and Joe Bonamassa, Steve Ray Vaughan,
Right.
Eric Johnson, everybody. These things are the real deal. Like
Okay, boutique.
yeah,
Yeah.
check them out. You need to check out a dumble.
Yeah.
Check out dumble. Look
You've
them up.
given me so much homework today.
You
You son of a gun. You. I'm like, I got all these artists and gear I need to check out now, dude. This is great. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Dumble amps are cool, and yeah. So Keeley pedals I use, and I'm trying to think. I think is there anything else? I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're mostly, I would say, rooted in blues. I mean, that's kind of like your forte.
But I do other gigs. I do other gigs.
What's your favorite? Like, what do you like to play? I mean, I'm sure you like to play everything, but
I like to mix. Like I don't know, man. It's always different. You know, a lot of I
different
like
moods.
funk rock.
Yeah.
Type stuff. That's kind of has like some of that. I wouldn't say too fusion, but like that type of guitar playing where it's just like Larry Carlton meets Peter Green type stuff. You know what I mean? I like to keep it deeply in feeling. It's always about the feeling,
Right.
playing from your heart, but also using some of those tools without thinking about it. Oh, I'm gonna do this.
Right.
It was still coming out of your heart doing it. So I like to do that, and yeah, it just depends. I play all different genres, like
Surf,
with different bands. So
blues, rock. That 50s
Jazz,
thing, that little
jazz
50s
stuff.
thing that you did for your video recently, dude, with that total reverb kind of
I'll do a lot of
50s kind of
jump.
digging that.
I'll do everything. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
You definitely don't like put yourself in a corner at all.
I do a lot of chicken picking too, type stuff, and it's a lot of fun doing all different styles. Just
right.
Yeah, just applying them.
Do me a favor for maybe let's just say we have some young listeners, maybe some kids in junior high or high school. What kind of give the advice? This is the classic question. What kind of advice would you give an inspiring musician that's coming up or that wants to learn or just wants to pick your brain on what advice you would give?
So I'm going into my senior year, and I don't know, some advice that I would give.
Yeah.
You have to put in the work.
Yeah.
Like you can't, that's something I can't stress enough. You can't go into this thinking it's just going to happen. Like
totally.
You definitely have to put in the hours. You definitely have to put in the work. Like, it's not, it's not just going to happen. You have to actually put in work.
What about a garage band that's put in some work? They're starting out. What would you say?
Oh, man. Well, I don't know. It just depends what works for you. But, some people would definitely try and, if they want to write some songs, they definitely would, get a publishing deal for sure, or try to publish them themselves. Or, they could probably go and talk to a booking agency. Because I just went to Grammy Camp recently. Mm-hmm. I got to go to that at USC for a week. Grammy Camp's put on by the Grammy Society.
Okay.
That's awesome. I took the music business track and just learned so much from that. And yeah, there's so many different things that, a garage band could do. It's just, it just depends what's going on with them at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't, it's like
there's different avenues.
You could give them that. You could give them the different options, and then based on what they're doing at the time, like it's really about doing your homework.
I mean, I've had enough people in my time ask me if I, to give them lessons or whatever, give them some tips and this and that, and I always kind of relate it to like surfing. Like if you wanna surf, you get the board. That's cool. You got the board. You got the guitar, but you got to take that board and go out on the water and paddle out and try to ride the wave to get up on the board and ride the wave. You have to put that time in. Yeah. So I relate that to same thing the guitar. Like you get these, some youngsters or whatever. I was like first or second lesson or whatever, and they're like, "Well, I want to learn how to solo." And I'm like,
"I know exactly.
Put on the brakes, man. Like as you said, master rhythm." Master chord. There's 7 chords, and then past the 7 chords, there's minors and majors, and there's all the diminished stuff.
I'm such a big chord freak too, man. I'm all over the place.
You gotta put the time in,
Yeah, I love finding.
Yeah,
the chords are
you're not shredding anytime soon. Put the brakes on that. You're not gonna do that. Like
there's a whole
learn
world,
the rhythm first.
Whole color palette.
Yeah,
of rhythms and chords, chord colors that just really give you that emotions you want to get across.
Right.
It's coming
from a rock background, like I said, I'm a big Pearl Jam guy, and they're a rhythm guitar player. I read this article and he said you should be able to take 3 chords and write 3 or 4 different songs style-wise off those 3 chords. Just be able to, like, don't think about trying to worry about, like, playing Hendrix licks or playing, Clapton and shredding.
Yeah.
Master and be so comfortable with the rhythm world first.
Exactly.
Because once you're there, that means now you're ready to move into learning some scales.
Exactly.
You know? And so for years, I was always the rhythm guitar player in a lot of the bands I was in, just because... And even him, he always said playing some of his rhythms was like playing lead for him. I mean, they have some riffs like even flow and stuff where it's a lick that's a rhythm lick, but it's like playing a lead for him. For in his world and in his mind, he was playing a lead. You know, he's playing this riff that's like a lead, and like I gravitated to that.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
I really
rhythm is so
I took that important. And I ran with that for a while. I mean,
to be a good rhythm player, I mean, how are you going to play lead if you can't play rhythm? You can't.
You have to master that first. I mean, and there's never mastering that, but I mean, being comfortable, knowing that, like, you spent the time and the years not even worrying about, like, shredding out leads, like, that's just like be a good rhythm guitar player. Back some people up, let other people shine, making the band or the song sound good.
Because when it comes down to it, you're gonna play what
you're serving the song,
complements the song. You're not gonna be shredding all the time.
That's kind of what people have always asked me, and like, I want to learn. I'm like, hold on. Wait a minute. We'll get there. You can get there for sure, but you got to put a little bit of time into this part of it first.
Exactly.
And then once you're there, then we'll cross that bridge and we can start learning some scales, because they, they'll see you or they'll see whoever, see me, and, oh man, I want to do that. That's the cool stuff. And I'm like, well, it is cool and it's fun and that's where you shine, and you're right, but there's a little bit more work involved before you get there, bro. You don't just pick up a guitar and start doing that,
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe some kid that is a virtuoso and has that maybe for 1 out of a million.
Even if you pick it up and you start doing that, you're still limited to what you can do, because that's all you can do. You don't know how it works, and you don't know why. So you're just limited in that. You know what I mean? So
and you come
still
across,
doesn't help you.
Even over at Pete's, we come across these kids that, I don't know, for me, I started off learning covers and learning bands' music I love, and then but for me, that inspired me to write.
Exactly, yeah.
And there's a lot of these players out that can only play covers, and they can play Van Halen lick for lick, but you say, like, play me one of your originals. Oh, I don't have any original. I don't know what are you talking about. I can play Metallica and whatever and this and that, and that's cool for what it is, to learn other people's stuff.
If you're trying to make it, if you're trying to, make it, quotation marks. Yeah. It's like,
but not only that,
they're not going to take you playing covers.
No,
you have to really, like, write originals, to stand out. That's what makes you stand out. And I mean,
and
you can make money off your originals,
taking those influences and making it into your own.
It's like, exactly. Right. You're just really taking your, what you're taking you and really just putting it out there. You know what I mean? And that's what it's, it's really what
putting
makes
your
you
own
stand
stamp
out. Like
on
I
it.
said, it's like that's how you put your stamp on it, and that's how you leave something, for the music world, So when you're even gone, there's still something, you know what I mean? There's still something you did that's there,
And you start off small. I mean, you start off writing some songs and you're vulnerable, and maybe you're scared to show people over the years. You play more, you write more, you sing more. It just comes out naturally.
Exactly.
Now you're at a point, I could close my eyes and I could just play a song, and I could do, especially if it's original, and that vibe shows through. People really gravitate towards that person, that it oozes out of them so easily, where they've just done it they've woodshedded so long. And part of that, like I said, is in your room doing it by yourself, and then getting comfortable to do it in front of others. And being able to really, like, let that shine and let that, it's not fake. It's not a show.
It's not.
It's natural, and people 9 out of 10 people will see that for what that is, gravitate towards that, and embrace and love and want to be part of what that person is doing and what that person has and where they're going. I mean, that's part of half the reason why I wanted to have you as a guest.
Thank you.
I mean, you have that it factor of it's natural.
Thanks,
It's so
man.
natural, dude. You know
Thank
what I
you.
mean? It really does show through, and it's something that, you know, you're only going to garner more listeners and more fan base and more interest because of that just humbleness that you have, but also that natural ability, you
Thanks,
know,
yeah,
where
it's-
it comes out so naturally, dude.
'cause
It's not forced.
That means a lot, man. 'Cause,
Yeah.
that's hard to do, to stand out. You know,
As a
in the
player, I
music
see
world.
it. I mean, it's great.
Thank
it really,
you. That means a lot.
It shows through, Anthony.
Thanks, man.
I guarantee you, bro. I mean, you've heard it 1,000 times. I know you have, but you're going places, bro. And your attitude, that positivity, you know, ness that you have,
Thank you. I appreciate it,
that's
man.
gonna take you places, bro. I mean, that is really something to.
Well, yeah, you always have to, you know, be nice to, you know, whoever you're working with.
Oh,
I
for
mean,
sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, others will embrace the more as you go. You're gonna collect more and more fan base, dude.
Thanks.
People are gonna recognize that soulfulness that you have, that legit, genuine thing, that factor. It's a factor that you have, that genuineness that you have, that just comes out of your playing naturally. You know, where you're closing your eyes and you're just doing your thing, and people. Wow, dude, look at this. You know, I mean, it takes people back a little bit.
Thanks, man. That means a lot.
They'll see that. That's why you're winning contests. That's why you're going places. That's why you're doing things. It's been, you know, awesome talking to you and just like
Likewise,
getting your
man.
story. I mean,
Thank you. Likewise, man.
yeah. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? As I said, we'll promote your upcoming
Well, yeah,
stuff. But,
yeah, I got a bunch
know.
of shows coming up with Casey Hensley.
Yeah.
And I'll be playing.
What's for the year? What's on the agenda?
So-
Like, think
Oh,
long term here. What's going on? Where would you like to be? I know.
Well, I think Casey's gonna be making another album, and I think you know I'll be playing on that, and I think doing some of the writing on that, so that'll be a
Okay.
lot of fun. And I think hopefully I'll be able to get in the studio and do another album, one of my albums again. You know, do another one because
Right.
somebody actually messaged me today. When's the next album coming out?
Uh-huh.
And so I told him hopefully we start recording soon, and
Yeah.
so hopefully I'll get that done this year as well. And
Yeah.
I'm actually graduating high school early. I'm graduating,
Okay.
and I'll be done by Christmas break.
Oh, sweet, dude.
Yeah.
So you're putting the time in there as well.
Yeah.
And so then from there, like you said, maybe applying for college and all that will
Yeah,
become
that's what
the
I'm
next
doing. Yeah,
step.
gonna
So-
get that done pretty soon here because that's right around the corner.
And you look at it like a 2-year, 5-year, like how?
I don't know. I have to see what the options
Sure.
are. Hopefully 2 years.
Yeah.
But if it's 4 years to complete it, I mean,
Yeah.
I might as well just do the 4 years.
and then
you
you're
know,
gonna be
get
an
all
East
that
Coaster,
knowledge.
bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Like
I don't know if I'm
Chicago,
gonna
you'll
like-
be close to New York, Chicago, all that stuff out there. I
In
mean,
Boston. I don't know if I'm gonna like it out there though,
Yeah.
because the cold. I'm from California,
Yeah.
so it's like
you Cali
gonna
boy.
be hard to get used to. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's worth it though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, good for you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, brother, man, it's been a very big honor to have you on this show, and
Thank you.
know,
It's awesome to have been here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much, Anthony. We're going to keep everybody updated as we air this date, and or the airing date comes up. We're going to, promote whatever's going on with you, and you're only going places, bro. You're only
Thank
going
you.
up. It's all up from here
Thanks,
for you.
man.
You have a great, humble attitude. I really appreciate you, just taking the time out to come and do this interview with me.
Thanks.
It's been a great time just hearing your story, brother. And, there's always strife and struggles and trials and tribulations for musicians, and that's what builds us. Is those
Exactly.
those bad things lead to the good things, and
Yeah.
it's the yin and yang. You got to have both.
Exactly.
And so it's been really great to hear your positive spin on this whole thing. I'm sure
Thank
you have
you,
a
man.
long career ahead of you, my man.
Thank you. I really appreciate the
Yeah.
support, and thanks for having me again.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It really means a lot, man.
You got it, my brother.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and we'll get you back in for another interview in the future.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to be in here again, man.
Yeah.
Because this is fun. I'm glad this is a great first impression, man, on this whole thing, man. So a really great show, and I look forward to hearing another podcast from all the other great musicians, and hopefully I'll be able to come again.
Well, thanks. We got the Fallbrook Kid up in here today. We want to thank him once again. This is the Krooked Hearts Podcast, and we are out.
All right. Well, that was the Fallbrook Kid, Mr. Anthony Cullins. We love sitting down with that young talent there. Great head on his shoulders, as I had mentioned earlier.
This kid is a bright, shining beacon for the blues scene here in town, and he has a bright future for sure. I mean, just talking about going to school and further education, is a huge thing. And if you have not seen him play, definitely check him out. This kid shreds. He's got a lot of great shows coming up. He's playing October 20th from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Biggs Harley-Davidson in San Marcos. October 13th from 4 to 5 at the Escondido Center for the Arts with 11 Amp music series. Also, we've got the November 18th show from 1 to 4:30 at the Old Town Blues Club right here in Temecula, California with the Casey Hensley Band, which we discussed, him playing with her and backing them up. And it was great just hearing some of his stories, with some of the other local bands, playing with Darren Greatly and other bands here. This kid is killing it. I mean, he slays it. If you have not seen him, definitely check him out. He will floor you with his talents. I mean, this kid's got a bright future ahead of him, a long road ahead of him. And it was great sitting down and talking to him. I'd like to give a shout out to Brian from the shop. If you guys have any rehearsal needs or recording needs, definitely give him a call. You can check out his social media connected to a lot of my imprints on Instagram and all the posts that we do through Facebook and whatnot. So check that out. If you guys have any needs for that, please give him a call. We definitely are thankful for him letting us use his space. Give a shout out to my editor, my main man, Andrew Gongora. Couldn't do this without him. Like I said in the past, it's great having a team. This is a team effort, and we are just so excited for everybody to be tuning in to the next episode, and appreciate all the listeners out there and all the fans. And we are rolling as we go here into the next episode. So we are stoked. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you next time. I'm Andy the Pie Deal with the Krooked Hearts Podcast, and we are out.